Hi, I'm Beth Rodgers, author of Freshman 14, a young adult novel about relationships between boys, girls, friends, family, and all the troubles and good times that go along with the beginning of freshman year of high school. I'm going to talk in this book review about Elsewhere by Gabrielle Zevin. Gabrielle Zevin has written this book about a girl, 15 years old, whose name is Elizabeth Hall, who dies in a collision between her bike and a taxi cab. At the very beginning of the book, we find this out, and she travels to a place called Elsewhere, which is basically the afterlife. And it's a very interesting vision of the afterlife because no one really knows what's there, if they believe in it at all. And this book really took a lot of imagination in order for Zevin to capture what that world after we die might truly be like. And it really makes you think. Even though she's 15, she has to somehow cope with this reality, the quote unquote reality, because she's dead, of living in this world that isn't what she has been used to. And also in Elsewhere, the interesting part about it especially is that everyone ages backwards. And so even though she's 15, every year, instead of getting a year older, she's going to get a year younger. And eventually, something is going to happen as a result of that, and that's true of everybody there. So while she's there, Elizabeth meets her grandmother, who died before Elizabeth was ever even born. So Elizabeth never even got to meet her, but she meets her there, and even though it's been 15, 16 years since she died, and so she's been aging backwards. So even though she died in her 50s, she's now in her 30s. And so Elizabeth gets to know her as only a 30-something-year-old, even though she is her grandmother. And so she forms relationships with her grandmother and some other people who are there and Elsewhere, along with some pets that she gets to know. And she learns about the fact that she needs, even though there is unfinished business in her life, and her death, quote unquote, that she needs to figure out, she can complete it if she's willing to take some risks along the way. And while she's there and Elsewhere, everyone has a job, so she has to get a job. So kind of like she grew up faster than she needed to, even though at the same time she's aging backwards. So there's a lot of irony in there as well. It's an interesting escape and glimpse into a world that none of us really have real answers to, and therefore we can't ever fully understand it. So making meaning through imagination is really an interesting way to go on this book. And Gabrielle Zevin does a really nice job with this. It makes you question how you would feel and how you would react if this happened to you. Hopefully not for a very long time for everybody, but it really gives you a glimpse into a world that is unknown and yet known at the same time if you take it at face value from Zevin's perspective. I really recommend this book, and I think that I'm very excited to read another one of Zevin's books that I just recently learned she's written. So I hope that you enjoyed this review, and please check back often for more. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.